guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to start by going around this MG ZR, a budget little hot hatch for anybody to jump in these days. I have the owner with me as well. I'm going to walk through this car, show you guys a couple of quirks, a couple of features, blue mirror, blue mirror and all that. But this is the MG ZR Plus. It's the 1.8 litre, 160 brake horsepower, the first generation facelift model, so a 2003. The Plus means it comes with all of the options. It has the 17-inch wheels, disc brakes all round, so that's disc brakes at the back as well as the sunroof, which unfortunately is a little bit leaky, isn't it? Yeah. But that's just a Rover MG thing. We don't worry about stuff like that. It has the side skirts, it has the electric windows. We'll walk around the bodywork first though, because if you're willing to buy one of these, I think you're going to find one that has a couple of niggles here and there. One thing being the side skirts get a bit saggy, don't they? But other than that, bodywork wise, these are quite good for it. You just find one good bit of history behind it. This one's got 98,000 miles on it, but we need to point out, get one with the head gasket done. So this has had a skimmed head gasket already put into this one with a Land Rover head,
I believe it's
gasket on it. Yeah, so something to point out if you are willing to go and get one of these. Unfortunately, reliability and stuff does mean that you will have to get one with the head gasket already replaced on these cars. But a sub £1,000 car, you can pick these one up for. But we'll go through the bodywork, because at the front, nice and aggressive, bit of mesh down here. We like a bit of mesh on the channel. MG logos with black headlights from the factory as well, fog lights bottom. But you got to remember, this is a incredibly cheap car to buy these days. We won't disclose the exact price, but let's just say this was very south of £1,000, this car. But I want to bring it to the channel to show you guys that these cars are out there. They're reliable, you drive them around every day, you can insure them for cheap. I do like the wheels on these, and many moons ago I actually put these wheels on a different car because they're 4x100 and they're very, very cheap to buy. So if you are 4x100 fan, the 17s and the 15s and all that sort of stuff actually fit other cars. I think we put these on a Mini back in the day, grey and black, and it looked really good. So Honda fitment, stuff like that. So something to point out, after multi-spoke wheels, look at the ZR wheels or any MG range wheels that are 4x100. Something to point out, at the front as well, we have drilled and grooved discs, I think from the factory on the Plus. From what we've seen, they're from the factory at the front, so very cool. We have a lowered ride height from the 25 as well. I think it's 10 mil lower. Blue mirror cap, because unfortunately, we don't worry about stuff like that. Don't worry about stuff like that. Coming round, a couple of things to note is that if you are after one of these, watch the rear arches for rust. There's a little bit creating on this one here, as you can see, but we're pointing these things out. If you're after one of these, just check that bit. Just check that bit. This one, as you can see, Lexus lights on the back. What a lad. Rocking the Lexus lights on the rear, and these with the ZR Plus means that you get this tidy little guard on the exhaust. That's just in case flames come out. Very cool.
They are expensive to replace if you lose it or it gets nicked.
Really? What, that little bit there?
£45 on eBay.
£45 for that if you want to replace it. So get one with that on it. Another thing to point out, very cool spoiler. Little bit of lack appeal on some of them though. Yeah. One of those things to point out, there is lack appeal on the spoilers, on the plastic bits of the car. And for a sub £1,000, mate, I think that's a cool little hot hatch. I really do. I think it's not too bad. Cool little body kit on these though. Got a little fuser at the back, side skirts. We'll come back down. Handsome looking car for not a lot of money, this thing.
I mean, I've had a lot worse for a lot more.
Yeah, we've had a lot more. You've had a lot worse for a lot more. I like the sound of that. But that's what this car's about. It's not expensive.
No.
And it's not, don't take it seriously. It's actually just a cheap hot hatch is what it is. With 160 horsepower, it's pretty good for the money. It's pretty good for the money. We'll walk inside and show you guys a few things in the interior. One thing to point out, the Pluses, yes, they come with a sunroof. This one has been stitched together with a bit of black adhesive tape.
Yeah,
that's for the minute, because the sunroof to actually buy
£140 just for the glass.
Just for the glass, expensive times. Inside, red leather on the steering wheel, half leather seats in this one, but white dials. Nice comfy inside though, something to point out, nice and comfy. Yourself.
Hi guys, I'm Rob.
And you own an MG ZR. Right, I'm gonna ask the question, why do you own this car? It's one of those cars that I think is easy to get hold of. So why did you pick one?
To be honest, it was the cheapest thing around that I could find.
And it's a bit of fun.
Yeah,
it's a bit of fun, isn't it? So, 0.8 litre,
1.8.
the 160 version, but she's a plus.
She's a plus.
So, what does the plus get you in the MG ZR range?
So the plus is basically every option that the MG ZRs, as far as I'm aware, didn't have. So obligatory leaky sunroof
that, as you can see by the swoopy shots and the walk round, has a bit of tape on it because it is at the moment leaking.
Yeah, electric windows.
Yeah.
I think the steering wheel as well had,
because it's got a bit of red on it.
Yeah, a bit
nice
of red.
Bit of red.
Side skirt, 17-inch wheel. Obviously, they used to race the ZS. I think it was in touring cars, so
yes,
touring car inspired wheels. Disc brakes at the back.
Now, I think the real talking point is, although if you go out there and you get a reliable one that's had the bits done to it that you need to get done, what would you, as a buyer, if I was going to buy one tomorrow, what would you say to me? What would you go for? You would go for a plus, I think.
I think if you can cope with the sunroof, I would say definitely the plus, just because of the extra options. Obviously, one that's had the head gasket changed.
Yeah, that's one of those things that really made these depreciate, unfortunately. Or fortunately for the second-hand market, is that the head gasket does go at some point and it needs to be done. So definitely buy one with that done, otherwise you're going to be stumped with costs that are worth more than the car is at the end of the day.
Definitely.
But sub £1,000 you bought this one for. Around over £1,000, say you would get one with the leather seats and all that sort of stuff. That's sort of the price bracket. If you're under £1,000, you'll get a plus with sunroof and all the nice bits on it. But over £1,000, you'll get probably a lower mileage one with the head gasket done, with full leather and heated seats and all that sort of malarkey. MPGs.
I'd probably say 25, maybe high 20s.
High 20s on the MPG front. Tax, I think we said, was 245 for the year.
245 a year.
And insurance, obviously, that's down to where you live, if you've crashed your car, all that sort of malarkey. But we're talking same sort of £500 to £600 if you're the north end of 20. Sub, 25, you're going to be looking at, double that at the end of the day, because it is quite a powerful engine at the end of the day. 1.8. It is a powerful engine, and it does then mean it pushes the price of insurance up. This 1.8 though does sound pretty meaty. You've only got an air filter up front and a back box at the back. And you were just saying that the back box is really the only thing you need to do to the exhaust system to create a little bit more sound. Although this has still got, 2 resonators in it? 2
resonators,
It's got a nice burble from the rear end. When you come down there, it's like as well, which is nice. Nice roar from the front end though. And revs around to 7,000 RPM being the red line. It is one of those cars. Do you have to kick its head in to get the power out of it?
You do have to work for it.
Yeah, you do have to work for it. Second gear, 3,500 RPM. Put your foot down. The shorter ratio gearbox as well is another talking point, because we were talking and I said, oh yeah, it's got the short ratio gearbox. It does mean you change gear a lot more, which is fun around B roads and stuff, but the other side of it is on a motorway, say, you are quite high up in the rev range when you are at 70 plus miles an hour. Want to sort of grab second gear and throw it about.
It's like it was designed for over here.
Yeah, that's it. It's designed a bit more with that lower ratio gearbox to actually be a bit more B-road friendly, I think, which makes it more exciting for us. But I think if you were actually on the motorways and stuff, it'd do your head in a little bit, because it'd be higher up in the rev range. I think if you were planning to buy one, you'll be able to find one with an exhaust and an air filter and stuff, and the sunroof done, and all the options for your £1,000 or sub £1,000 price bracket, which means it's actually really good value for money, this car. Really good value for money, because it's very comfortable in here.
Well, everyone I've found has a Magnex exhaust.
Magnex exhaust.
Every single
one's got a Magnex exhaust.